Well, good morning. It's time for the 10-minute tune-up. Come on, y'all. Let's jump in, tap in someone else that is a part of your friend group. Come on, get them involved in this 10-minute tune-up because it's going to be one that is going to be super inspiring. It's going to help you to adjust the areas of your life that needs adjustment so you can have a great week and a great life. So come on, y'all, let's jump on in. It is Monday morning, August the 3rd, and life is great. We moving towards an end year that's going to be phenomenal and incredible. What's up, Elder Dexter? Good morning to you over on my conference line, 3373-5825. Thank y'all for joining me. Y'all help me out. Let's expand, man. Let's expand this group, man. The more you, if you're on our YouTube channel, man, we want you to tap in, subscribe, ring the bell, so when we have new streams, you're going to be able to get those. If you're a Facebook person, if you're on my personal Facebook page, go to the Temple of Praise Facebook page, and we want you to like it, man, and become a part of that Facebook group. And if you're on Temple of Praise Facebook group, I would admonish you to join Pastor Dexter's Facebook group. And if you're on conference line, man, come on, man, share somebody. Share it with somebody, get them to be a part. Y'all know how we used to do old school. We used to kind of conference people in when we having conversations. This would be a good conversation. You can conference some people in. Hey, Sister Rhonda, how are you? I pray that all is well. I'm going to give about one more minute to somebody that needs to be in. I just want to make sure that we maximize this time with each other. I don't want to overextend our time together. Good morning, Sister Mia. Yeah, I don't want to overextend our time, but I want to make sure we maximize our time and give everybody the benefit of actually being on. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead on and set up my time so we can actually get started in this time. Good morning, Sister Joycelyn. Hey, First Lady, good morning to you. Let's get our time started, and then we can go on from there. So here's what I want to talk to you about today. You know, sometimes people ask me, you know, not all the time, but sometimes people ask me, Pastor Dexter, how do you get the things that you're going to teach or the things that you're going to talk about? Where do you get the inspiration from that? And most of the time, to be honest with you, it's God inspired, right? I don't always feel like I get it from God, but then there are instances where I am involved in certain things and it looks pertinent enough for me to talk about. In other words, if I have family, man, that's going through a situation and I gave them some wisdom about the situation to kind of help them through it, then sometimes God will say, you know, they're not the only ones that needed that. You probably need to share that with everybody else. And that's where inspiration comes from. It's not necessarily having conversations with people all the time, but being able to observe, you know, some of the challenges people go through or some of the successes and the victories that they go through, because we want to be victorious in life also. And, you know, God uses the Bible as an example for all of us. All of the challenges that we see people in the Bible have, that's for our benefit, so we'll know how to navigate challenges. When we see people having successes in the Bible, that's for our benefit, so we'll know how to be successful. And that's the roadmap or the blueprint that God actually used for us. And so today what I want to talk to you about is a subject that I believe all of us, and the scripture I'm about to read from, all of us need it. All of us need to observe and to put this particular principle in our lives. And I call it censoring communication and conversation. Becoming a censor of a communication or conversation that you have. And here's what James says in James 1:19. He said, wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man. That means all of us. That means he's giving instruction, or he's actually giving advice to everybody. He says, wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. Be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. That middle instruction, slow to speak, man, is probably more challenging for many of us than it should be. And one of the reasons why is because sometimes when we're talking or we're in the midst of a situation, we're not intentional listeners, right? We're not listening with intentionality. We allow our conversation or the communication that we having to affect us mentally, emotionally, that soulish area. We allow it to affect us. And when that happens, man, it could definitely lead down a path that you don't want to go down. And by saying some things that you shouldn't say, or by allowing it to coach you into doing some stuff that you shouldn't do. And we just take the time to really hurry up and listen. That's what James says. You got to hurry up and listen to what's being said. Take the time, invest intentionality when you're having communication or a conversation, and make sure that when it comes to the communication or the conversation, that you're censoring your ability to say something. You got to censor you, right? You got to censor you. And I want to give you some tips on how to do that. Number one, you got to have refined restraint, right? You got to refine your restraint. You got to begin to cultivate your ability to refine yourself when it comes to that conversation or that communication. One of the things that I'm going to say in a minute is going to bring light to what I'm talking about. Here's the next I think principle or point that I need to share with you is that you got to be responsible and reasonable in your response. Responsible and reasonable. Because sometime, man, First Lady and them tell me that. I just had an instance on Thursday when somebody told me something that on their side of our communication and our conversation, I was on 10. In my mind, I'm on 3, right? And in that moment, if they felt like that or if they saw it like that, it was not reasonable response. It didn't equal the conversation or the communication, in other words, right? And so I got to be responsible when I respond to someone, because I don't want them to take the wrong idea of what I'm saying. Now, sometimes I need to be on 10. Sometimes I want to be on 10. Yeah, but I gotta make sure that if I'm affected emotionally or mentally, I gotta make sure that when I respond in the element of communication and conversation, that I respond reasonably and responsibly. I'm not trying to hurt the person. That 99.9% of the time, that is not my desire to hurt people that I care about, or people that I'm connected to, or people that I'm conversating with or communicating with. I'm not trying to hurt them. So I gotta be reasonable in my response, man. I gotta be reasonable. And here is the other thing, or the next thing is that you gotta be careful that people, when you're in conversation or communication with somebody, that they don't reassemble your rhetoric or what you're saying. They don't reassemble it. In other words, the reason why you got to be slow to speak is because you got to make sure you communicate in a way that somebody doesn't take what you say and take it out of context. Right? They don't take it out of context. That's why you got to be slow, man. You got to be slow to speak and think about what you're saying, what's coming out your mouth. Some people don't have no filter, man. They just be saying some stuff, right? They just be saying some stuff. And when people hear it, they take that and reassemble it and repackage it, and they give it to somebody else. They reassemble what you just said, and you say, I didn't say that. No, you did not mean that. It was like you said it. You probably didn't mean it. And I'm a proponent of when like people be saying, oh, you said it, that's mean you meant it. No, that's not always, because sometimes we're not even thinking about how we're assembling how we're assembling our word or our response to people. And when they receive it definitely not in the intent that we was trying to give it. And that could cause some, boy, you talking about some confusion. Boy, you can make your life so frustrating. So frustrating when people have taken what you said, reassembled it, and packaged it in a way and presented it to other people, and you're on the end of somebody telling you what somebody else said you said. You saying, I know good and well I didn't say that. I know. No, you probably didn't mean to say it, but the way you packaged it, the way you assembled it, they took it the wrong way. They took it the wrong way. So you got to be really slow in how you present things, because if you're not careful, man, if you're not careful, they will take that in a way that can either be harmful, humiliating, because sometimes we say stuff and we don't mean it, but people take it, and for them it's humiliating, right? It's like, man, they hurt my feelings and that kind of stuff. And most of us don't want to hurt people's feelings intentionally. Here's another one. You got to have a reframed rule. A reframed rule. You gotta make sure. Look, y'all gotta make sure you got a reframed rule. What are you saying, Pastor? You can't respond to everything. Yeah, because some of us allow people to bring us into everything, man. We already on edge, right? And when they say something, we just haul off and just say something back, or we just haul off and say, no, man, you got to have a reframed rule, meaning I'm not going to respond to everything that's said to me, or every communication that I'm having, every conversation I'm having. I got to have a response. I've learned that as a pastor. As a pastor, I've learned that not every situation requires me to respond to it. Not every situation, because people think pastors got all the answers. Man, we be getting stuff from God too, just like y'all, man. We don't know everything. Pastors do not know everything. We learn, and we take a lot of time. I'm sorry, y'all. We take a lot of time investing in study, right? And to study to understand, but we don't know everything. So when you get ready to respond to somebody in a conversation, or you get ready to speak, then just make sure that you run it by your refrain rules. Some stuff I'm just not going to respond to. No, I'm just going to refrain from saying anything to this particular situation, to this particular person. Some people I'm just not going to say some stuff to, because I know they're going to reassemble what I say and go give it to somebody else. I just know that. So some people, I don't do that too. And here's the final one. I'm gonna leave this one to you, which is this: is that you got to stay away from the right fight. Pastor, what's the right fight? The right fight is that you are always in your conversation fighting to be right. You got to be on the right side. I'm telling y'all, let me tell you something. Lord Jesus, let me tell you something. They got some people you're going to have a conversation with and you're going to communicate with that I don't care what you say. If you right, they ain't going to let you be right. So in that situation, you got to be slow to speak, man, because listen, that fight to be right can cause a lot of frustration and pain. It can help. I'm telling you, it could cause you some stuff that you don't want. Man, it causes you some problems you do not want to have. And when you're trying to, and especially when, I'm going to just say this and then we're going to end. Especially when you're talking to somebody who has the challenged ability of processing when it comes to dialogue and communication, right? Yeah, some people, man, when you talking to them, they have that's what we say they have no understanding at all. And when they take the stuff that you say and they reorganize that stuff, man, and they regurgitate that stuff to you, and you try, man, they trying to pull it out of context, and so now you got to fight to be right, or if it's a situation that people are giving you wrong, and now you trying to fight to redeem yourself and to protect yourself. No, come on, man, don't do that. Don't do that, and stay away from retaliatory reaction. If somebody talk to you in a negative way, don't retaliate. Don't retaliate. Don't feel the need that you gotta fight back, right? I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind. No. Hold all the pieces of your mind together. Don't be giving nobody your mind pieces. Hold on to it, right? Just be slow to speak. I hope this helped y'all. I hope y'all helped this helped y'all this morning, because I went a little bit longer than I normally do. But I wanted to make sure that that you understood that all of us, like James says, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. These instructions that James is giving is for everybody, man. It ain't just for y'all. It's for the pastor. It's for the apostle. It's for the teachers. Yeah, it's for all of the senior citizens, because we feel like when we get to a certain age, we can just tell people anything, and that's not right. No, you can't be, I don't care how old you are, man. You just can't talk to people like you want to talk to them. Because I'm 80, I can say what you, no, you can't. No, you shouldn't. He says, let every man that is under 50. Now, that's not what James says. He says, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. He didn't put no age limit on it. I don't know why when we get to a certain age, we think we're supposed to be telling people anything we want and not censoring what we say. That's not fair. It's not. Now, you get boldness. Some stuff you wouldn't say when you was younger. When you get older, you don't have no problem with saying it, but you shouldn't say everything. Everything on your mind, you're just gonna haul off and tell people. That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. It's not considerate. All right. Look, y'all, I appreciate y'all going with me this long, this over time. But I hope that you receive something, man. Have a great and inspired week. I love y'all so much, and I look forward to our next time together in prayer on Thursday at noon. God bless you. Have a great one.